Well, hello everybody. Yes, this is a totally different one. This is video number 101. I passed the 100 mark. When I hit 102, that's actually 100 marijuana videos. I did 2 cannabis. But everything else is all marijuana. So, I have a group now. Cannabis Education For Everyone. That's just what it's for. I want the weediots. Okay, I'm not calling you idiots. I'm just saying you're ignorant as far as marijuana. Because you don't support it. If you don't support it, you're either a weediot or an anti-weed Nazi. And the anti-weed Nazis, I've said before, is usually the ultra-religious, can do no wrong. Read the Bible. It's right in the first chapter, in Genesis. Something about, verily I give you every nut, seed, berry, and stuff to use for food. Now food, think of that. Our foods are health. I've talked about terpenes, smells, aromas. They also have medical benefits. So when you're using rosemary, you're getting the medical benefits of the terpenes that are in it. And those terpenes are the same type of terpenes that are in marijuana. Meaning what? Well, marijuana is classed as a vegetable. It is an edible. Without getting you high. You have to cook it to get the THC out of it. Or you have to heat it. Okay? And they make THC oils and stuff that they make candies and stuff out of. Like, you know, I've got lemon drops and cherry drops. But I was sitting here, I told everybody I about ripped a hole in my arm there. Still healing. But it's because it was deep. It was like 2 millimeters deep. I'm triple dosing it today. I put a little Neosporin on. And that's been itching like crazy since last night, but I didn't want to rebandage it. So I slept through the itching. I got through it. I just put some cortisone 10 around it. And I put my cannabis salve on it. Because the cannabis salve is healing it faster than it would have normally gone. And I am a normally fast healer. Oh, the itch is gone. Yay, cortisone. So anyway, let me get my phone back open here. I was going to look at something. Hang tight, I gotta find this. Okay, and we're back. I wanted to do this. This is for everybody who's very religious, and that is the reason you're against marijuana. Okay, you have to get past the psychoactivity. That is the one and only thing that really makes people not like marijuana. But I've told you before, there's sativa and hybrids that are very low THC, high CBD strains that are uplifting. And they're always full of what? Cannabinoids for our endocannabinoid system. Just like we take in food that has iron in it for our liver. In fact, what do we usually use to put iron in our body? Liver. We eat beef liver, calf's liver. Okay? We even eat the heart. You know, a cow heart has got a lot of protein in it. It's very, very good proteins too. So you have to think about something. Food. Now, I looked up just Genesis 1:29. I got different versions. The New International Version is, God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it, they will be yours for food. Now, as I just said, food is health. If you don't eat, you don't get healthy. You get sick. The New Living Translations says, then God said, look, I have given you every seed-bearing plant throughout the earth and all the fruit trees for your food. English Standard, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. New American Standard, it shall be food for you. King James, to you it shall be for meat. Holman Christian Bible. Look, I've given you every seed-bearing plant on the surface of the entire earth, and every tree whose fruit contains seeds. This food will be for you. Are we seeing a pattern here? Okay. Yes, I'm very, very sarcastic. Especially when it comes to weediots. Like I said, that's what Cannabis Education for Everyone is. I know everybody I brought in is off my medical marijuana group or on my friends list. And for those who I did not invite or add to the group, you are welcome to. I was just signing people up, and it only let me sign up so many people at first, and I got the group going, and then things happened, and I lost track of, and it would take me forever to go through 300 people and make sure I've got the right 150 that are on my marijuana group. There's 150 some of us, 154, 155 members, okay, plus me, including me rather. We were up in the 160s, but some people took off. I don't know why. Maybe they didn't like the truth. Because, like I've said, I speak truth and sooth, and the truth will set you free. Okay? Everything I'm coming up here with, everything. I got High Times articles here. I got 6 articles. The first one, right off the bat, is talking about cannabis and marijuana, and which pot-related term we use and words we should lose. Okay, I'm going to get that to it a second though. I wrote all this stuff down. I want to get it out. And then I'll be going through my entire book, 150 pages plus. But this, I wanted to talk about the anti-weed Nazis, ultra-religious. You don't understand Genesis 1:29. Cannabis is a vegetable. So it is food, and it is food for health. Hemp seeds alone is the perfect protein. The hemp hearts, the heart of the seed, the outer part of the seed is, they have to grind that off and get down to the heart. And hearts are soft, nutty-like, walnut texture, but they're little tiny pieces because they're from little tiny seeds that they haul off. 1 acre of hemp, not cannabis, the hemp family. The Cannabaceae family has cannabis and hemp. Hemp is no psychoactivity. It's all CBD rich. The better cure for cancer is to add THC. We'll get to that in another day. But high CBD is food. And those cannabinoids attach to your immune receptors. CBD does most everything you need. THC and CBD have the longest list of things that they take care of. And each and every one of those things translates out to hundreds of diseases. Each one, okay? Anti-anxiety. And there's anxiety-related illnesses out there that you add them all together and there's millions of people. Pot is anti-anxiety. Okay, some strains are very good at it. They're very good for stress. If you look at my leaflets, they got a bar graph that when it's full, that's when it's best. And they'll have things like the medical effects of pain, stress, anxiety, depression, sadness. Okay, and that's what that strain does in those medical categories. It's what it's supposed to be good for. So people just need to get over the psychoactivity part of the THC in the cannabis family, of the cannabis side of this family, because it's for your health. Food is health. Sorry for my handshake. I also wasn't doing this outside because I'm on my cane today. All day yesterday, from the time I woke up in the morning to the time I woke up this morning, I've been bent over at the waist like 80, 90 degrees, leaning on my cane. It took me half an hour to make a cup of coffee. That was this morning. And it took me another half hour to make this cup. My first cup was regular coffee. This is decaf Sumatra from Starbucks. I think the caffeine had my heart rate was way up, but my blood pressure was low. I was like 108 over 72, which is low for me. I'm usually 120 over 90, 120 over 80. But my heart rate was up 118. And I double checked it with my, I got a blood pressure monitor that does blood pressure and pulse. And then I actually have a working blood pressure monitor on my S8. That works. I'll give you a demonstration of it sometime. The Samsung Health app on the Samsung 8s, it comes with it. It's loaded with it when you get the S8 phones. And it's Samsung Health. I keep track of my food, calories, what kind of foods I'm eating. So when I put in my smoothies, I just pick one of my two smoothies. This kind, the warm kind with fresh fruit, or the one with frozen fruit. And they're both different calories. And I put the calories in there so I can keep track of my caloric intake. And I need to because I am chubby. I got twins down here. Okay, I can do that and it looks like a butt. Serious. I'm still 140 pounds. I used to be 150, but that was muscled. So I've lost 10 pounds of muscle, at least, because I am now steady at 142. I made sure and asked the doctor, I said, so what's my weight like this time? After 3 months. He says, you have been the same for the past 2 years. Everything I owe to marijuana. Because before that 2 years, even for the first 3 years of smoking marijuana, I have so many things wrong with me. So much pain. So many different varieties of illnesses on my body inside that cannabis has been working for 5 years now. Okay, and it took the first 3 years really before I started to really feel it. I need to keep people across again that my morphine makes you euphoric if you have no pain. If you're 0, then morphine will make you, it'll either kill you if you take too much. My 30 milligram, just my one immediate release, will kill 2 grown men. I'm taking a 60 time release and a 30 immediate release, first thing in the morning, and then about between 2 and 5 in the afternoon. Think of how many people that would kill. And I don't feel euphoric. Why? Because I've said the morphine takes me from a 10 down to a 7 to 5, in that range. Pot brings me down to a 4 or 5, sometimes a 4. Right now I am a 9, but you can't tell it because it's my back. And if I were moving right now, I'd be on my cane. I was even thinking of starting the video like that by putting my tablet over on by the TV and let you see me hobbling and how I walk. My hips actually move because I've damaged my pelvis so bad. I almost walk like a girl. And when they made you march in the military, the way you walk is, well, you watch people marching. It's very different. And it makes you, it sticks with you for life. Everything that happened to me in basic training is in my head for life. Okay? Little rhyming things that our drill sergeants used to say to make us do things, like drying between your toes. When you come out of the shower, you're supposed to come out of the shower and put socks on. You don't walk in the barracks floor barefoot. So you had to put socks on. So you need to make sure your toes are dry or you get toe rot, athlete's foot. So the drill sergeant had a litany of clean around between the toes because that is where the fungus grows. And we had this going and we were chanting it all through our shower time. Those things stay with you for life. I still march most of the time when I'm able to walk upright. Right now I couldn't. Right now it's leaning on the cane and it's horrible. It's freaking horrible. And you people need to understand it. That's why I'm using myself as a guinea pig here. Okay? Because I've been on marijuana for 5 years and I have researched and studied everything. And as I said, the euphoria from morphine has to hit 0 before I'll feel it. So my pain uses up the morphine. There's no more morphine left, okay? My opioid receptors are no longer getting any signals because I'm still in pain. So I'm not getting the euphoria. Same thing with the weed. Most of my euphoria comes from holding the hit in very long, and you get a carbon monoxide buzz. I hardly feel the weed. And I've learned to deal with my pain. That's why I'm able to sit here and do this in 8 to 9 pain. My shoulders are killing me. I didn't take a shave today because it would just take too much time in the shower, and I couldn't stand up that long. I had to sit and wash. We have 2 seats in our shower. One's underneath the water that goes over you, and the other one, you're in the spray. So I actually have to sit in the shower sometimes. And when I'm doing my shave, the shave takes almost 20 minutes to get all my hairs off because they grow in different directions, and they're very tough. I go through blades like 1 blade per shave, and I've ruined the blade. That's how rough my hair is. But you see me with red blotches on my face after shaving. Sensitive skin. Steel wool beard, sensitive skin. My cannabis salve helps my skin. It helps me heal faster. This medically active cannabis in this salve. So let me get back on my thing. I wanted to, cannabis is the only reason that I ever get up and move. Okay? And going over the words cannabis is the Cannabiceae family. Well, marijuana is actually Spanish for Mary and Jane. Maria, and Juana. Because Juan is John. Juana is Jane. Maria, Mary. Mary Jane. So everybody uses the slang Mary Jane with marijuana. But it's cannabis. It's the cannabis family. And hemp is the sister plant. So there's a cannabis plant and there's the hemp plant. Very 2 different plants because hemp is industrial plus the high amounts of CBD. You can harvest the leaves for the CBD and all the fibers can be used. The entire plant can be used. There is no detritus, leftovers. The entire plant, even when they're harvesting, whatever falls on the ground and stays there is fertilizer for the next crop. Truth and facts, scientific evidence. Hemp was grown for 200 years almost. No, 100 years. It's been 80 years of prohibition, so 120, 140 years of hemp. Benjamin Franklin had a hemp mill. Not a wood pulp mill, a hemp mill. Because hemp trees get up to 15 feet high, and they got thick, and inside is paper, archival, permanent quality paper that's naturally white. No bleaches like what we see if you drive through a lumber town that's got a big lumber mill there. It reeks. Wherever they're making paper, it reeks. I remember going through it, heading east from central New York over to New Hampshire or something, Lake George, and we went through this town that you smelled it 10 miles before. It was like, oh my God, what the hell is that? And it was like over 10 to 15, 20 miles past it before we got the whole smell out of the car. And this was a total like 60 miles because we had to go through the long town, and it reeked. And you could look at the river as we were driving by. You could see at the paper mill that all this nasty shit was being pumped out into the river. Cannabis is totally, everything's usable. There is no leftovers, like I said. And you get the food and CBD medicine from the leaves. You can use the fibers for clothing, the inner hemp for paper, and you can even make oriented strand board, hemp biodiesel in either ethanol or methanol. Corn only does ethanol. You can get either. And they're safer than table salt. They're safer than regular biodiesel. You can actually taste it. It might not taste good because it's a fuel, but hemp fuel contains and emits in the exhaust 11% oxygen. Fact. Henry Ford's car was built out of hemp fibers for the body, stronger than steel, hemp biodiesel, hemp plastics for the windscreen. Everything except electricity. You need wires. Hemp doesn't conduct electricity. That's it. Even the plastic sheathing on wiring can be made from hemp. Hemp industry is an entire video series. 2 or 3 series. I can go on and on and on about hemp industry. All the little things that it does. Clothing, paper, rope, canvas for sails. They called them canvas. They said, pull down the midship canvas. Was from cannabis. Because cannabis and hemp to them was all cannabis. Hemp came along and, they discovered the 2 different genuses in the family and this, that little rift. Well, it should be legalized. People should get over the psychoactivity of THC and just think about the health benefits of a food that cures cancers. Yes, a food that cures cancers, my friends. So, cannabis and medical cannabis programs should probably start using cannabis instead of marijuana. Because marijuana is slang. In fact, we had a place here, it was called Squaw Peak. Okay, but white people petitioned the government to change the name because it was offensive to Indians. Well, the Native Americans here didn't give a shit if it was called Squaw Peak. It had been called Squaw Peak for decades. They changed it to one of the first Native American woman to be decorated and died in battle. Piestewa is her name. So the Squaw Peak became the whatever Piestewa Peak. And it was mostly driven by whites who thought that the Indians would be offended. Like people talk about the Washington Redskins and things like that. You don't see birds complaining that they're Baltimore Orioles. There's Orioles in other cities too. Why does we have to be Baltimore Orioles? My brain thinks of weird shit all the time. I can't help it. But I gotta put up a couple things. Go http://rickspainblog.simdiff.com. That will tell you my story. And it is long. It'll take you 20 minutes to half an hour to go through page 1. And there's 7 pages. It's about my fibro, my degenerative disc disease, my medical cannabis, coping techniques, plus a big long introductory page that tells you everything about me. Now there's also, I just did this thing on potent media. I should share also. Let me bring it up here. It's https://potent.media/ and then it's marijuana and morphine, my life in a pill bottle. There's a hyphen in between each word. So it's marijuana hyphen and hyphen morphine hyphen my life in a pill bottle, etc. No hyphen at the end. That's the only thing. And that is my story. I spent 6 hours writing it last week and posted it, and they read it and approved it. So that will tell you my story too. So let me get away from Genesis, because I've told you already. We now know. Let's go to this High Times article. And at the same time, I wanted to bring things in the middle here. Like I said, weediots. People are just ignorant about weed, and your anti-weed Nazis are the very super ultra moral right. And all you guys over there, there's the anti-weed Nazis, and then there's these people that are down here, and there's more people here on the fence. And over here we have the super stoners who wake and bake every day just because they like to be high. Okay? The wakers and bakers, and they talk about it, great sex, and, effing this all the time. That's the super stoner counterculture. Well, from all these guys and all those guys over there, me and millions of people are here in the middle, needing medical marijuana or using it already. And if you're not using it already, you should, because it does everything. And it's disease dependent. Cannabis, whole plant cannabis only, or the presently used concentrates. Okay? That can either cure, aid, reverse, kill, or control the disease process in our bodies. And, it controls things that try to kill us every day. I mean, isn't it like every day could be the day you die? Okay? And if you died because you didn't want to become a hippie by utilization of whole plant cannabis, then you have got no one to blame but yourself. I'm sorry. Straight out. I talk straight out, man. I don't sugarcoat shit. I said that the other day. Just imagine having total autonomous control over your own health. No matter what Mother Nature or life or God throws at you, you have the chance to stop, reverse, and or cure whatever, whenever, however it is the disease process is working in you. Tommy Chong, Dennis Hill, the biochemist, Rick Simpson the Great, I call him. Why? He took his cancer cure to the Canadian Cancer Institute and they poo-pooed him and sent him away. So he goes, so the cancer industry wants to make money and they don't give a shit about curing cancer. And like I've said before, chemo and radiation actually spur cancers to grow. And now they got these freaking medicines like Ibrance and with names you can't even pronounce. Istecainumab and shit like that. It's just ridiculous. Cannabis, cannabinoids, terpenes. CBG, cannabigerol. CBC, cannabigromine. See a pattern there? Everything's canna. Canna. There is no endogenous marijuana system. It's the endogenous cannabinoid system. So I say we go to cannabis and cannabinoids. And every state should change and make it a medical cannabis program. Because the government patented the cure for cancer, not with a pill, not with Marinol, but with whole plant cannabis back in the 70s. Nixon had it buried. Reagan and Bush tried to have it destroyed. Yet 6603507, I think that is the patent number of the government on marijuana. It's totally wrong. I mean, just imagine, you have control over your life with cannabis. Okay? You have control over whether you're going to suffer or not. Even if it's a terminal disease that is eventually going to kill you, cannabis will give you back a quality of life that you won't have laying in a hospital bed with poisons being pumped into you. Cannabis and cannabinoids fit our bodies perfectly, just like other foods. And there's very, very few people allergic. They're only usually allergic to the pollen from the hemp plant, not the cannabis plant. Think of that. You can still take CBD hemp oil. There's no pollen in it. But anyway, like I said, Rick Simpson is the great, because when the cancer industry poo-pooed him, he gave it to the world for free. Sure, he made money off his book and his story, but that's because people want the cure. So he wrote a book on how to cure yourself of cancer by making your own cannabis oil. Cannabis, not hemp. To me, that's very admirable, and the cancer industry is so screwed up. Because he gave us the ability to reverse the disease process with a minimum of outside help and a very, very, very minimum amount of side effects. The worst side effects of marijuana are dry mouth, either a dry nose or a runny nose, depending on the strain, a little watering of the eyes, and hunger, and sleep. Whatever you need, sativas will help you uplift. It'll get you off the couch. It'll maybe open up your artistic talents and you'll write more. Maybe I can start writing more poems. But I'm not in the pain I used to have, and that was my motivator for all my poems. All the poems on Poetry for Everyone are almost all pain-related. All 700 of them. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get everybody, anti-weed Nazis and weediots and the people on the fence, I need you over here. Okay? And you have to get over those guys, the stoners. Okay? They have their own counterculture. Weed porn and stuff like that. Stuff I don't want on my group. Okay? I try not to cuss. I say shit. Goddamn. The F word. If I have to. Usually when I'm talking about Jeff Sessions. Fuck you, Jeff. But I'm here. And everybody needs to wake up and smell the ganja and get healthy. So what if you get buzzed and see flowers? Isn't that a whole lot better than having a doom and gloom attitude? Wouldn't it be better for you to be awake and aware of your body and how you're healing it? And there's so many ways to ingest it that are safe. Vapes. It's CO2 extracted cannabis oil. CO2. Soda. They use that to extract the THC and cannabinoids. And it helps me get to sleep at night because I don't want to set the house on fire with a blunt. So I can lay down and puff on that if I'm having trouble getting to sleep. And sometimes within 8 minutes, I'm gone. I'll wake up the next morning going, wow, that was good. That was a good sleep. And then life hits me, kicks me in the ass and says, okay, you're still in pain as soon as I get up and start moving. So, this is already going on a half an hour. What am I going to go over here? The endocannabinoid system. And endogenous cannabinoids are, I've told you, they're the inner. They're what's inside your body. That's what your body makes. Your body makes cannabinoids. It doesn't make THC. You can't make yourself high. But wouldn't it be great if you could think yourself high? But endocannabinoids and their receptors are found throughout the human body in the brain, organs, connective tissue, glands, immune system cells. Cannabinoids promote homeostasis at every level of biological life, from subcellular to the human organism as a whole. Cancer alone. Cannabinoids surround and encapsulate the cancer. They cut off its blood supply that it's trying to use to metastasize, and it will go wherever that cancer's gone. If the cancer started to metastasize, that cannabinoids will find it. It will follow the path. Because your immune system is there. Wherever it's metastasizing, it's affecting your immune system. So cannabinoids attach to your immune system and help kill cancers. And cannabinoids, autophagy is the word. Autophagy means self-eating. Cancer cells ingest themselves down to nothingness. And all the while, the cannabinoids have encapsulated and protected the neighboring cells from turning cancerous, as well as cut off the blood supply for metastasis. Scientific evidence, my friends. You cannot deny it. And if you're in the government, you cannot legislate it away. And you can't click your heels 3 times and go, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Okay? Because behind the curtain is the wizard. And he's just a guy called Cannabis. He's the wizard. And he did some grand things. Okay? The wizard did grand things for everybody. Watch Wizard of Oz. Come on. So the man behind the curtain, Cannabis. So cannabinoids are also found at the junctions and intersections of the whole entire human system. It stabilizes nerve cells to prevent excessive firing, calming nearby immune cells to prevent the release of pro-inflammatory substances. Anti-inflammatory properties of THC and CBD. Yes, the buzz does more. Okay, just the list of THC alone has like 12 or 13 different main functions that covers hundreds of diseases, including cancer. Basically, cannabinoids work 3 different mechanisms of action on 3 different cell types for a single purpose: to minimize pain and damage to the subject. It's a complex system with all the junctions mediating neurogenesis and neuroplasticity and learning, and it can directly affect a person's open-mindedness and the ability to move beyond limiting patterns of thought and behavior from past situations, up to and including addictions. I'm still smoking cigarettes. I'm probably still a little hooked to them, but they help my throat when I'm smoking weed. And I'm able to smoke less because I'm smoking weed. And I'm able to save up a morphine or 2 here and there because I'm smoking the weed. The cannabis. I'm smoking the cannabis, the herb. So, that's also a PTSD thing. Limiting thoughts and behaviors. Okay? All the vets know it. Last night, how many vets did not go to the fireworks shows? Come on, put them up if you didn't go. I did not go. I sat on my stoop, jumping from 5 miles away. I mean, you'd see the flash and count to 4 before you heard the boom. So I saw the flash. That startled me. And then I waited and counted for the boom so I could tell how far away it was. So I know exactly where it was. And I was also watching 3 other shows. Some way over on the east side and the northeast side at the base of Mount Lemmon. Almost 30 miles from me, straight, as the crow flies. A lot more on the roads. But anyway, reformatting the limiting patterns of thought and behavior are an essential part of our health. These receptors are embedded in our cell membranes and are believed to be more numerous than any other receptor system, i.e. gallbladder, liver, your intestinal tract. Many tissues contain both of them, CB1 and CB2. CB1 is the nervous system, connective tissue, gonads, glands, and organs. Cannabinoid 2 receptors are predominantly in the immune system and its associated structures. These are all taken from dedicated.med.gov.edu and science. The CDC, Center for Disease Control, their outlook on marijuana is positive. We need them in control of the DEA. Drugs, Centers for Disease Control, it goes together. With Centers for Disease Control backing it and saying cannabis is the cure for cancer, we would start frickin' using it. If the Surgeon General had a frickin' brain in his head or her head, I don't even know who's in charge right now. Who is the Surgeon General? Do we have one? They should be saying something about this. Because already more than half of the country and Washington, D.C., the seat of our federal government, has legal marijuana. So why are the assholes in D.C. trying to attack patients like me with set in place state medical cannabis programs? Why? That's why the Department of Justice did not give him any money. Because that's what he said he was going to do. He was going to come after people like me. Because I smoke on the air. Oh God, I'm the frickin' devil. Wake up and smell the goddamn buds, people. It's true. Everything I'm talking about here is truth. There is speculation of a cannabinoid 3 receptor because endocannabinoids are the substances that our bodies naturally make to stimulate the receptors. And they're thinking that that is the system that makes us create cannabinoids. They haven't tracked down exactly where they've all come from. Now, phytocannabinoids, those are the exogenous plant substances that stimulate our CBD receptors. Delta-9 is your most famous and psychoactive, but other cannabinoids are now gaining the interest of researchers. Get this, the cannabis plant uses THC and other cannabinoids to promote its own health and prevent its own disease, and that is why it is mold, mildew, rot resistant, pest resistant. There's antioxidants promoted as a natural substance to prevent free radical harm on themselves as well as us. Us, not just me, you guys too. Everybody has to come over. Come over here. This is not the dark side. This is not evil. Okay? Pot, dope, weed, ganja, Mary Jane, marijuana, whatever the hell everybody wants to freaking call it. We have the endocannabinoid system. When asked, a hippie said, what have you gained by smoking? He said, nothing. But what I have lost is hate, anger, anxiety, depression, insecurity, and fear of old age and death. Very wise. That's why I'm a hippie at heart, because that's exactly the way I feel about my smoking marijuana. Not just for my health. So anyway, a functioning cannabinoid system has come to light as essential for our health. From embryonic implantation to the wall of mom's uterus. I did that last night. Now this is an ancient system that has been in our bodies from the beginning. And it was here millions of years before humans. Before the first primordial amphibians crawled up on the land and breathed air. People started gaining an endocannabinoid system, probably because these plants were very prevalent back then. Science has found that a very, very viable sources, good sources of information, that the herbivores back then were eating cannabis and hemp, wild. But it's here now. And in 10,000 years of known usage of hemp, because they found that old hemp, that old, when everything else would have disintegrated, this pottery made with hemp was still good and viable. Didn't shatter. When they dug it out, they were like, wow, what is this? And when they found out it had hemp strands in it. It lasts forever. 10,000 years for hemp. 7,000 to 8,000 years. 7 to 8 millennia of known medical usage since the Emperor Shen Nung. He was the first one to start a pharmacopoeia that contained cannabis. And the Chinese lived long, healthy lives because they had this in their diets. is their pharmacopoeia, as their food. They ate the hemp because they found it was edible. And they found that cannabis did things for the human body and cured things or reversed things or killed pain. Why is an almost 7,000-year-old Chinese emperor, why is he got all the goods on cannabis, yet our freaking government has got their heads up their asses so that they can't hear the truth? That's why I ask people to share my videos, tag people, tag your governors if you don't have marijuana legislation yet. See, I slipped up marijuana. If you don't have cannabis legalization yet, get it to your state legislature. Get it on the ballot. Get a popular vote. I'll help start a petition for any state. Okay? I'd like to start a petition for the entire federal government for everybody to sign and send it to the House or the Senate. Cory Booker, he's one of the ones that's really behind keeping Jeff Sessions away from legalized medical marijuana. Cannabis. See, medical marijuana. It's the medical marijuana program here. So, I'm never going to get to the website there. I'll save that for the next video. I'm not going to stop because I am continually educating myself as well as you. And I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying my videos. Yes, I ramble on sometimes. And that's just because I'm in a lot of pain. Always. It doesn't stop. The only time I'm close to a zero is when I'm sleeping because I don't feel the pain. I probably feel it in my sleep because that's what makes me roll around. And that's why I have to lay on the couch in one position, because if I roll around, things get pulled out of joint. And this helps me get by. It's probably helping to at least halt the degeneration of my discs, because they're pressing up against my spinal cord. They're oozing out. They're being squeezed because they're so soft and porous. And now I've got some that are hard as rocks. Okay? And they hurt. And where my nerves come out of my neck, starting up here. Bone growths. That affects the entire body, because that's where all your nerves start. It's right up here. And things radiate out. So what do I got down here on that? Research has shown that even small doses of cannabinoids can signal our bodies to make more endocannabinoids and build more receptors. It is a win-win-win. So, if you want to try weed, most first-time users may not get high, no matter what the concentrate of the THC is. But the next time you do, you will have already awakened your endocannabinoid system. That is the key. You have to get it started. And your body will help you produce more cannabinoids. So as you ingest cannabinoids, your body helps make more cannabinoids, and that promotes what? Homeostasis. Balance and harmony in our health. I need water, hold on. Oh. There's another thing about that Samsung Health. It helps me keep track of drinking enough water, because sometimes I don't. I drink a lot of sodas, green tea, and coffee. I should be drinking water. I just save bottles like this to use, because you don't. I had a habit back on OxyContin and psych meds. I had a habit of burning holes in the carpet with cigarettes. I would nod out. Sitting here, I'd go. Debbie would come out and go, "Oh, there's a new hole." I'm like, "Yeah." Now we have a carpet runner covering them all. Now I smoke cigarettes outside. But I don't do that like anymore because that was psych meds and Oxycontin. That really had me screwed up. So anyway, first time users don't always. You have to be exposed to and stimulate your endocannabinoid system. Now, unlike synthetic derivatives like dronabinol, marinol, herbal cannabis contains over 100 different cannabinoids, including the THC, which all work synergistically to produce medical effects and less side effects than THC itself alone. So it is assuredly positive that medicinal cannabis could be the most useful remedy to treat the widest variety of human diseases and conditions. And this was all well known by the ancient Indians, Chinese, and Tibetan medical systems thousands of years ago. 5,000 years of safe use, and the government needs to pull its head out of its ass and get on the bandwagon. And, we're on a whole new millennia here, and 80 years of prohibition, 80 years of cancers. Do we see any pattern there? Cancers really bloomed out in the 30s and 40s. We started spraying our crops with poisons, and we're eating that shit. And people stopped using hemp and marijuana because it was prohibited and pulled from the U.S. pharmacopoeia. And the most stupid-ass move by Harry Anslinger, racist and bigot son of a bitch. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Like, we're changing slow, but like my doctor, we need to educate. He's learning. He thought marijuana, being a Schedule I narcotic, would work like morphine. He and I both learned that it doesn't. But I've been giving him a continual education. Every time I come into the office, he goes, "What else do you have for me?" And I go, "Well, what did I talk about last time?" And he'll spur me on, and I'll tell him something else. Okay? Everything I'm telling you, I've been telling him every visit. Something new and something different and something that he could look up. I'm always even pre-writing websites down on a little sheet of paper and handing them to him and say, "Look these up. Watch my videos." I don't know if he's started yet. He keeps saying he's going to try, but he's a busy doctor. He's got a lot of patients because he's great. Dr. Rick is awesome. So, what have I got down here? My next topic is going to be terpenes and terpenoids. I will find out more goods on that than what I've got already. I know there's plenty of stuff out there. So, cannabis, cannabinoids, the endocannabinoid system, the word marijuana. Marijuana has become so commonplace. I don't see why we shouldn't just keep it, since it's already Arizona Medical Marijuana Program, Ohio State Medical, whatever state legal, and then cannabis is just medical marijuana law because it's all open, medical, recreational. I think you can buy more if you are medical, because that's how it would have been here if they had passed the recreational bill, Prop 205, last year. They would have limited the THC content to 19% for the recreational users. So they would have had to have a separate grow room to keep them from cross-pollinating and making the higher THC. So they had 19% THC and 20+% for patients. And you can get 1 ounce a month, 5 ounces a month. Big difference from recreational. So if you want to smoke recreationally, but if you've got something seriously wrong with you, and I don't know if you guys can really understand what I'm trying to say when I tell you what kind of pains I'm in. And it's not obvious because I've learned to control it. Okay? But my body creaks and groans. This muscle, like I said, it's been up here for 5 years, or 8, 9, 10 years. It's been swollen and in pain constantly, all the way up to here. And just lately it's been affecting me up here, on this side. But my cannabis salve helps that. And you get topical hemp stuff from Tracy. If you guys want to try something simple and legal in all 50 states, hempsavedme.com. Facebook, Tracy Morgan Gibson. Tracy with an EY. Tracy Morgan Gibson. You friend her, just tell her I sent you. She will get you started on the hemp you need for what you need. You want weight control? You want antibiotics? You want anti-nausea, antiemetics, antidepressant, anti-pain? CBD does so much. And they add extra terpenes and stuff into the oils and stuff. Like my orange blossom oil it's 200 milligrams per dose, and it's got terpenes and stuff added to it. It's really orangey, it's really citrusy. It's got a lot of limonene in it and caryophyllene. Okay, that's all. I'll get into all that when I get into terpenes and terpenoids, which are basically the same thing. Terpenoids just means it's like terpene. But anyway, we're going on an hour. I'll try to keep these things down to an hour because I'm giving you a lot of information. Back up, rewatch parts of it. But listen. Just listen to the facts. Because the truth is there. Like the X-Files. The truth is out there. And I'm here to give it to you. And I would not steer anybody wrong. I would not say you need morphine. I would not say you need Klonopin. I will not say you need anything. I'm not a doctor. But I can tell you, as a medical cannabis patient, you need cannabis because it will promote homeostasis at every level of your life. Your entire being changes to the better. You feel better. You feel healthier. You feel less pains. Maybe less migraines. Maybe you lose some weight. Or you gain some weight by the munchies. It goes either way. Some cannabinoids are appetite suppressants. Some cannabinoids give you the munchies. It's whatever flips the switch. And it makes food taste better. That's why people get the munchies and they have these odd combinations of foods because the flavors are just outrageously great. When you're smoked up, things that you normally would just nibble on, you're eating by the handful. Okay? Gummy bears. We get it by a 5-pound bag. And I eat a lot of gummy bears. These are not cannabis gummy bears. You only get 10 for $20 for those. But I get a big 5-pound bag from Walmart. And it's awesome. I have a handful of gummy bears every night. So I have to watch my sugar intake. But I'm not diabetic. And I'm not worried about becoming diabetic either. Why? Cannabis. I have a very, very, very bad migraine right now. You know how I'm going to cure it? Cannabis. Everything that's wrong with me is helped or aided by cannabis. My diseases are all terminal. Not as I'm going to die tomorrow, but they're not going to stop. My discs will continue to degenerate. There's nothing found that will halt it, except for some really nasty pharmaceuticals that I will not touch. Besides, a lot of cannabinoids also strengthen the bones. So I'm not worried about osteoporosis. And you wouldn't be either if you smoked cannabis. Just try a vape. That's all. Just try a vape pen. Okay? It cost me... In fact, I got it for $30. I got paid for the battery with the first oil free. And it's $30 a vial. And This battery is almost 2.5 years old. This battery is almost a year old, and I've got another one that I haven't even opened yet. And I have a black, a blue, and a silver. I remember them that way because black was my first one, the red, blue. I still got the silver in the box. It's like I've got vape batteries for years. And I will keep buying these vapes because the O-Pen is awesome. They also have a brand called The Clear. And it fits these. But it says it's got more cannabis in it, but I didn't get the puffs that it said it would. It's supposed to give you 400 2-second puffs, or 200 4-second puffs, whatever to equal 800. Well, the clear is supposed to be like 9 to 1100 puffs. I didn't get that many. These last longer than the clear does. And I'm using this all day long because my buds raw my throat and I cough a lot. But I still love my buds, and they also work faster and different than this. Everything works differently. My hash works differently on me. My space rocks work differently. My flower and my vape and my candies, my edibles, my patch. Mary's Medicinal. This is a THC indica. They also come in CBD sativa and a hybrid, which is a balance of THC and CBD. And I put that on every time I'm going to leave the house, like on the first of the month. I put a patch on it, like 7 in the morning, because it's good for 12 hours. And I put it right here, on a very venous part of the wrist. It says either there or on the ankle, and it stays. It doesn't come off. I've sweated outside in this Arizona heat, and the sweat comes up through it. And it just wipes off, and it still pulls up skin and hair when I pull it off after 12 hours, even with showering and sweating through it. And I'm getting continuously reliefs of THC with its long chain silicon polymer is the stickum, and lecithin and oleic acid makes the stickum that sticks it. Now it's cannabis extract, eucalyptol, and terpenes. Doesn't specify the terpenes, and then I've got all these stamps they put on the back that they don't peel off very easily. So basically, we're just past an hour here. I'm hoping I'm changing minds with every video. What that takes is shares. Help me out. Share my videos. Put these out there. If you don't want to be called a weediot, don't be ignorant about weed. Come over to the green side, because right here the grass is greener, and you can come over the fence. So come over the fence to the marijuana cannabis side. Super stoners, you don't have to be one of those. You don't have to be a wake and baker. You just have to be a patient that wants to be healthy. Or just a healthy person who wants to stay healthy. Because let me tell you, I was healthy even with all my breaks, dislocations, strains, sprains, whiplashes, and concussions. For 25 to 30 years, I lived without excessive pain. My worst pains were my teeth, when my teeth were going bad. And I'd take hydrocodone. That would make me loopy because it killed the pain. And then I felt the euphoria from it. Now I'm taking all these 240 milligrams daily of morphine. And I don't feel a thing. I never once go, woo. My eyes don't get bloodshot. My pupils don't contract or blow out, either way. It's simple. Hydrocarbons, the building blocks of life, the basics of amino acids are hydrocarbons. And these things fit our bodies. There is no way around it. Don't move your head, Richard. There's no way around it, folks. Cannabis cures. Cannabis kills, Big Pharma kills. So, positive vibes from the universe, free marijuana and hemp from the prison of ignorance. Thank you.